Is Tony doing the intro?
Who is doing the intro? I don't know. I'll do the intro. Hey guys, it's us at PeakD&D. We're on the interwebs again, doing some streaming stuff. It's been like a month since we've streamed, so a lot has kind of happened. 3 of us went to LAIRCON. We started a new campaign. All kinds of good things coming on. So to my looker's left is Ben. Looker's left is Ben, my right. Above me is Max,
everybody.
and Catty Corner's Nick. And we're all here to chat some just Dungeons and Dragons and life and campaign 2 and all kinds of crazy things. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. Interwebs. Has it really been a month since we've done a stream?
Yeah.
It was like beginning of October.
Yep.
When we finished the other campaign.
Oh, gee, sorry. My bad. I switched my tab, so it looked all funky for a minute, but we're back.
Oh.
It's fine.
Oh, there we go.
Damn it, Tony.
It's like, Tony, you're dividing by 0 over there.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. Yes, I am. I've been dividing my 0 for a whole week now.
Nice.
But yeah, guys, I mean, what are you guys most excited about? New campaign 2. It's been fun so far. 2 episodes are out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And it's again, it's always interesting because I'm like, okay, we were just talking about like what we're gonna do as far as leveling and all this other stuff, and like we haven't even gotten there yet in where it's really, because we film ahead of time. For those of you who it's pre-recorded, we don't do a live stream.
Very close to live, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do much. We don't edit it. We just play in advance and record it and then release it. But I think it's always strange to think about, like, oh yeah, where were we when we filmed that a month ago or whatever it was?
Yeah,
It's truth.
yeah, no, and that's like the disparity of these things. It makes me wonder, like, if we should talk about something else, like other stuff that we're excited about, right? Because like we're excited, like what we want to talk about, like game wise, is, I mean,
What is
Tony,
to come?
Yeah, like a month and 2 months out.
I think
like,
we're through
that's-
January right now as far as filming's
like-
concerned.
That's like that's a tease.
Maybe even through
That's a
February,
hard
actually.
tease.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, we just
I will say I am already in love with these characters. I like these characters.
yeah.
I've only seen that. You've only seen them for 2 episodes, 3 episodes, really, if you count 0. But Nick, I'm excited about this story, man. I mean, you start out with, we haven't done one since it premiered, right? So
Max,
like
what's the face for?
I want to challenge Ben.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever made a character that you didn't have like love immediately? Like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
a huge,
for sure,
for real.
yeah.
What character did you hate that you made? That you're like, this is dumb.
My
This is-
first
this is dumb.
lizard man assassin guy.
But he was glorious.
He went out in a blaze of glory because he had to. He was he had a ring of fire something, and like basically blew up this gunpowder.
Warehouse.
Yeah, it was great. Took out like most of the city, the docks of the city. Ryan, what are you doing, buddy?
Glorious. Sorry,
I've got an eye on the toddler. Sorry.
I take it back. No, it's all right.
No,
I'm
no,
a
no.
toddler, just in case he's gonna fight.
Just in case he jumps off that thing that he's climbing on right now. If I have to go, just
Save your kid.
know
It's cool.
for a
Hey man,
reason.
I got the 3-member synced up and ready to go. So
For which everyone else has a dropout for life reasons.
yep,
Right.
then I'll figure it out. That's what
Yeah.
that'll
We'll
what that'll
see
happen.
how we'll see how it all
Excellent.
shakes out.
Excellent.
You gonna go on the slide, buddy?
I'm
I
sorry,
guess so.
Ben. I am sorry. I revoked my challenge. I don't think I've ever made a character that I didn't love. Like I've always.
I think maybe my first one was also not very good. Like when I made a drow ranger who was a deposed prince from a drow city and who was dual wielding scimitars. I was just
Okay.
missing Guinevere, and I would have been Drist.
Guinevere.
I was essentially Drist.
I just watched Onward again for the first time in a while. God,
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It was wild. It was that was my very first character when I came over. I liked Barnabas Jones. He was fun. I didn't play him
Before
very
I
much.
knew the
Yeah.
origin story of that.
He was
that Palo?
Praise Paylor.
Oh, okay,
his name
cool.
was his name was Barnabas
It's so
Jones.
crazy that I played with him and I had no idea
Yeah.
until now.
No. Well, he was just sort of a heal-a-bot. So he just sort of followed the party and like he just memorized healing potions or spells and just gave them out.
I think like that was the absolute peak of the bloat that group went through. So there were like 12 players.
Oh yeah,
so it was pretty difficult to get any screen time in.
Yeah, it was.
And like, I also don't always know all the characters' names.
Also true.
Like I've gotten better.
Yeah. Well, I think back to what was it? We did Dave's one of our monthly games. We had Dave, the New World campaign where we did, and I don't remember anybody's name from that.
Oh, yes.
I like Debbie was an elf ranger, I think, or druid. Max, you were that guy with the fork. You had the trident.
I was very hungry. Yes,
I think you were a Tempest cleric.
I was named Strom.
Strom and Drang.
Yeah, I don't remember the last name and all that stuff though.
Jeff was a halfling archer or something. Halfling ranger, maybe. I think he was a halfling.
Was this when you were playing Barnos Jones? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh no, this is I was just thinking of I was a dragonborn paladin.
Oh,
a gold dragon paladin.
Nice.
And I was in love with a red dragonborn from another clan of I guess Tiamat paladins or something. I don't know.
Forbidden Dragon Love.
It was Forbidden Dragon Love, baby.
Yes.
That was the name of that campaign, I think.
I feel like it's a terrible romance novel. Like I can see the cover.
That does sound
There's a really bad Fabio-esque cover somewhere.
Just a dragonborn with luscious flowing hair.
Absolutely.
Fighting that giant floating testicle that we had to fight. What was that thing called?
I don't know. It was the boss though.
It was like a Furblex or something. It was a really weird,
I have
abomination.
No idea what is going on in this campaign, but it sounds entertaining.
I don't know if you would have liked it, Nick. It was pretty low magic, low level. Like Dave definitely likes the struggle, which may actually tie into what Chapter 2 is going to be about.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, he definitely likes it low.
Oh, he's cackling and making a face. That's not good.
Of course.
Sorry, Ben, you weren't on the sound check, so you missed all my chatter about Chapter 2 of the campaign. But I've done a lot of prep work for it, and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm thrilled. I wish we could. I mean, not
we totally can.
Spoiler alert. Everybody.
I mean, we just talked about a game that literally you and I played, and no one else but 4 people in this entire world know about.
Well, honestly, think about it. People are going to have to remember what we say right now for 3 months, and then come back and be like, "Oh yeah." So, I think they got time to forget. I guess.
Should we tell you what happens? Should we tell you? Should we ruin it for you?
I can't tell them what happens.
No, we can tell you.
Tell them the how. We just have to. Yeah,
both of our viewers will be so sad.
We can talk about how chapter 2 starts and where we find ourselves.
Yeah,
you guys.
I think a nice little teaser.
I think it's a curious D&D thing too, just to talk about from a mechanical gameplay sort of standpoint. So, take it away, Nick.
Well, I mean, the first chapter of the campaign will end with our heroes valiantly going to a different part of the world as quickly as possible. And that part of the world is very different from Icewind Dale. You guys see grass, like savanna steppe grass. And
at least it's warmer.
Bright sunlight. It's 70 degrees out.
See,
surely nothing bad can happen here.
Not at all.
I feel like I can finally get my good piece of fruit.
There you go.
Are we the players, right? We're privy to the whole non-magic taste.
Well, yeah. Part of the adversity you'll have to overcome is that this whole you're going to be visiting a town that happens to be inside a dead magic zone. So that'll be fun.
Which would be a great place to lay low for a while. I'm just saying.
Yeah, especially if somebody with access to divination might be upset with you.
No, that's very, very true. But Always fun to be a wizard in a dead magic zone.
Right. Don't worry, Max. Don't worry. Your feeble protestations have moved my heart. There will be a way for you to use your cool stuff. Don't worry.
Your words have moved me, Killface.
Thank you, Torpedo Vegas. I just it was part of it was especially a big kick because this whole time I've been waiting for wild magic swords, waiting for wild magic swords.
We were so close.
And then it's oh, come on.
Don't worry. You'll be sick of wild magic surges by the time we're done with this.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
No doubt about that. After the first one, it's just man.
Kane's probably going to be just ecstatic when it starts going off.
When stuff starts wild surging all over the place.
I think you're just going to get to the point where you're like, okay, that's enough wild surging. We need to put you down.
We have polymorphed Kane into a wolf.
Can we do something about the cat, please? Kevin already doesn't like you. I mean, has Kevin come in? Yeah, Kevin came in episode 2, right?
Did
I think so.
Yeah, he did. I think so.
Heck yeah.
Here and there.
The actual best character.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
the best character.
I guess I kind of have a question because I think it's been alluded to, but it's never been directed, and maybe I'm just wrong in general.
Yes, he spells it with a Q. Sorry.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up. Everyone spells it with a Q. Kevin as well. Kane and Kevin with a Q. So there's that. Is not that there is one, but last campaign, Jastia was kind of the focal point. But is Minnow Moreland the focal point of this, or no? Or
nobody cares about your bard,
Tony.
Tony.
No. So, I think you certainly have an argument for being the framing device.
Okay.
But I actually ended up regretting a little bit how much Campaign 1 revolved around Jastian's stories. So I'm going to be we have more time with these characters.
This is true.
As opposed to me just rolling with the first good idea I had about how to get you to Myth Draenor. So
that's
I
fair.
think that everybody is going to get more screen time.
Kind of chapter by chapter, maybe chapter 2, 3 is Minnow Moreland, chapter 4, 5 ends up being Triss, and chapter 6 ends up being Kane or whatever.
Well, I'm hopeful that all of the chapters are all of you. I actually used a super clever Session 0 thing to help me stick to that.
Very nice.
The first thing that your secret die of secretness does.
Barely.
You don't know the rest of the things.
Yeah.
Mine was free money. I don't understand how that could ever be bad.
Gambled away.
Are going to be coming back to haunt you the whole campaign, and just looking at my chapter 2 prep, I have already found really fun ways to use them to hook you guys into that narrative.
Awesome.
So it's I'm hopeful that everybody gets to be the protagonist this time.
For sure.
Structurally, because actually Ben and I just wrote a D&D script that's all about how to Session 0, essentially. And I'm curious because we talk about so we equate the whole thing to breakfast and cooking up breakfast for your friends. And so one of the last steps is to spice it. And that's what I called your tie-ins, your knots, your kind of little extra things, Nick, that make it yours. So last time it was the backgrounds, this time it's the dice. From a structural standpoint, are there did you organize it so you're all right, there's going to be something that happens with each of these in each chapter? Or as
basically,
far as okay, cool.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something that was a little more episodic for the story, both because it's fun, it lets us change things up every so often and keep things fresh, but it's also less of an ask to get people into our videos.
Yeah.
If there's 4 2-hour videos, they may not start from the beginning of chapter 1, but if they stumble on us, they might start from the beginning of the chapter that we're on. So I was thinking it was more kind of a newbie friendly approach to this. So as I was designing this campaign and thinking through the broad strokes, I really had chapters on the brain, and this was another fun way to use that idea and give it some inertia. So I actually stuck with it.
Rad. And for no reason whatsoever, are all the things that are going to happen because of this dice bad?
No,
Or are there
no,
actually-
No, sometimes they just give
don't
you
like your
money,
tone.
Max.
That is a matter of perspective.
I don't like your tone.
So why is everybody so skeptical of me when I'm burying gifts? There will be a mixed bag.
Okay.
But Well, Max, for you specifically,
Oh.
the worst thing that happens with your die is happening in chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh man,
Just
all
rip
right.
the Band-Aid off.
Everyone shit on Max in chapter 2. That's cool.
I
Yeah,
mean,
don't use your magic.
The worst thing possible is we're gonna have to deal with
That's good, man. I'd rather
without
get
your
mine out.
magic.
I'd rather get mine out early. It's part
Right.
of the reason why I don't take magic items until toward the end of campaigns, because magic items always get better. So if you can survive and not have your ring slots or
Yeah.
all of your attunements filled, like look at Illensworth in that last game. Like he got some cool stuff at the end because I mean that's usually how we divide up loot, right? It's like, well, no, I've already got this, I've already got that. Like I have space.
No, it's a very good point.
playing the long game on loot. There you go.
It's true. You ended up with like all the really cool things we
All
had,
the
like,
cool Shar things.
Yeah.
and the broom
Yeah.
of flying, which was
And the
far
Broom of
better in
Flying.
your hands.
But the Broom of Flying didn't require attunement.
No,
There
was a-
playing is nice.
You could
There
just
was a point
friggin'
where
hop on that thing.
we just collectively decided it was too much work to throw animals into the mix. So we gave the bag of Pokeballs to Gord, and just it never came out again.
Oh yeah, it's true. I didn't think I had it for that long, but yeah, it's true.
Oh, like the last couple of sessions, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. It was like after. It was after the Snot dungeon, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
With
Oh,
Yo! Ajun's D&D stuff.
yeah. Yo, what's
Hi,
up,
Joe.
man? Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for checking us out. We're just hanging out talking about our actual play and some other things. But yeah, another thing. And we're gonna be recording the first part of chapter 2 next
Yeah.
on
this
Monday, hopefully.
Yep.
Oh man, does that mean on Monday that the shoes are going to drop for me, or is it going to be strewn out through chapter 2?
It's gonna be more of an unfolding situation, I think. But
hooray!
Yes. Yes.
Slow burn.
buddy.
The slow burn.
Excellent.
just, keep an
Excellent.
eye out for when dominoes start to fall.
It's the second time you said that, and I'm curious. Well, I
Great.
guess the first time was sound check, to be fair, so no one else heard that. But now
Well,
I'm
I
like,
just wanted everybody to hear the clever thing I said.
But are they going to be real or metaphoric dominoes? I suppose we'll have to tune in to find out.
Yeah,
They certainly
sure.
won't be magic dominoes.
Now I want
Magic Domino's pizza.
Nick was on the same.
Maybe
Nick
they're
knew it.
real
Yeah.
dominoes. Maybe we like stumble upon a game of
That's what I'm-
dominoes
yeah,
and they start
exactly.
toppling.
I'm going to be like OCD, like,
Like on the lookout for dominoes.
Are those guys playing dominoes?
Nope,
No,
that's
they're playing
Mahjong.
Dragon
Nope,
Check.
Triss, that's Mahjong. It's fine.
like I'm just going to go knock down every kid I see playing dominoes and like.
I mean, that would be very cat-like. So
it's true. It's true. Pray we don't come across any dominoes on countertops.
you're just
Oh dear.
Because the truth is, that's our last bowl.
yeah.
Oh, that's our last bowl.
Every morning.
Yeah, no, I am excited. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Oh yeah, man. It's gonna be-
I mean, I think it'd be curious though, because chapter 2 also is going to be kind of related to, like you said, in the prep or in our what's it called, sound check, like resource management and just how that changes. I don't know. Not a lot of D&D tables play a lot with resource management, but I think it's going to be super interesting to play around with that idea in a non-magic zone. And
You've been dropping the hints. I mean, even in session 0 and the first few, like
Yeah.
we're tracking our
I had-
expenses and things like
I
that.
had a broad strokes idea that I wanted to play with that. I didn't know exactly how until I started really getting into the prep for the next few, for the next chapter. And that's when it started kind of clicking. It's like, okay, if they need to manage this carefully, then, just even something as simple as, how do you heal in an anti-magic zone? And that's an interesting thought, right? So, like, even if you have like a trivial encounter, if the only way to heal off like the one hit that you took from that combat is to rest, that's going to change how you play the game.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really exciting for me. It's like, let's tweak these systems that theoretically exist that almost never come up in standard gameplay and see what they can add to a story. So that's kind of what I want to play around with in chapter 2, and it's happening in an early chapter. So if it turns out it sucks and we hate it, it'll be easy to throw out the window.
Yeah, which is always a good add-on to anyone who's trying something at a D&D table is don't be afraid to try it, but don't be afraid to get rid of it either.
Yeah, don't be afraid to toss it out if it doesn't work. Easy.
But I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be a while till it comes out, but when it starts playing, I'm excited for it to be a resource maybe of gameplay that people can watch to add that to their games. So
I'm just hoping that we discover fun and that I haven't put too few guardrails on or too many guardrails on systems, because again, dominoes falling is the sort of image that I have to inspire me in this one.
Nice.
Okay. I will look forward to, in the hindsight, placing that meeting. I'm curious, as we're talking about like instituting new systems and trying new things in games, what each of you think about like how long is a fair shake with a new system or a new rule before, like, if players don't like it, if DM don't like it, like what's a fair shake before you talk to amongst yourselves and table it?
I mean, depending on how much you're changing with the rule, like one session can be abundantly clear. It can give you abundant evidence that it isn't going to work or isn't going to work for your group. I think for some things, it might be worth trying them longer. Obviously I have like a segment of the story that is built around the idea of resource management. So like, I'm going to be trying that for a chapter, which is kind of a thing that, I don't know. I guess it depends, really. Yes,
I mean, I think for that too, like resource management, you have to do it for a longer period of time to actually manage those resources. That can't really be a one game session sort of thing, but like something you implement in combat, you might be able to see very quickly.
Yeah, if you're like making changes to like combat rules, that'll be pretty clear. Whether it speeds things up or slows things down, and it might take people longer to decide whether they like it or they don't. But you could get like a pretty good sense of the immediate impact of it.
But I like the idea of, let's give it chapter 2 and have it run all the way through, and then we can decide.
We'll have it proceed as designed, and we'll learn some things from that experiment.
Yeah, we will. I'm excited for learning that kind of style of gameplay, just because you don't use it a lot.
I admire your optimism.
Don't worry.
I think it's going to wreck us, but I'm excited to play with it.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah, the thing I keep thinking about is like the lifestyle expenses that we had to sort of pick out, like modest. Yep, I think is what we all chose, or comfortable. Maybe I think is what we all ended up doing.
I just started editing 3 and just came across that. So
yeah, so it's like, and I keep getting confused because I'm me, but like I'm like, okay, it's only when we're in town and we like stay in a hotel, right? Like
yeah, exactly,
or an inn or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, those rules also suggest you can use them for like traveling through the civilized areas. So it's basically, are you staying at inns? How nice are the inns? It's a way of abstracting that into something very quick and easy to figure out.
One that has a monetary, decline,
exactly,
where you have to actually pay the money to do the stuff.
But now we've introduced the idea that it costs gold to live.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing.
Might be handy.
So what was the frequency of our lifestyle payments, and what was common again?
We chose.
So we chose comfortable, and I think it's like 2. I think it's 2 gold pieces per person.
A day.
Per day.
Yeah, so 6 gold per day for the party.
Yeah.
So if we stay in an inn for like 4 days, it's 8 gold a piece.
It's just like life in general costs.
Yeah,
that
it's just
much.
like
Yeah.
living expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's room
Yeah.
and board and food and drink and. You could probably also throw stabling for your horses and giant birds in
Yeah,
there.
like all of all of your life expenses, all of our
it costs this
halting
much to
adventure.
not think about any of the essentials while you're in this town.
Boils
Yeah.
it down to a number of gold pieces.
I guess I'm assuming but if we've bought we have a tent and we have
Yes.
bedrolls
If you
and
have the
stuff.
equipment to bypass that and sleep out at night and save your money, you can totally do that. It's not
Just a
intended to
just a
add, only
default.
to subtract.
Oh no, Ben.
I'm cool on all that.
Micro USB.
Oh,
What did I do?
I don't know. It looked like it needed to be plugged in, is what it was showing us, I
Yep.
think. But
You're back.
It
now.
is
That's
plugged
good.
in. Maybe it
I mean, I'm not-
unplugged itself somehow.
I'm not trying to sleep on the ground, y'all.
no. We know.
That's true. Triss is used to the finer things in life. She's a classy lady, and she needs a glass of Merlot to fall asleep at night.
I mean, yes.
Hey, at least
Yeah.
we're in 70-degree weather now.
Dude. I know.
Not for
I
you
assume
folks at
there's.
home,
I
but-
assume fruit grows here. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're gonna put all the furs and heavy winter coats back in the
Well, this is what I mean.
Ooh,
Like, yeah, I look forward to Monday because I've thought about this for a little bit, and I think I'm gonna have a sit down with you all.
Ed Robinson is in the
Ed's
chat.
in chat. Hey, Ed.
Ed.
Good to see you, dude.
Oh, what the heck? Allow?
Are we granting permission now?
Apparently. I'm trying to let Ed into the chat. No,
Ben needs to be granted permission.
Oh, okay.
It was asking some of my keychain thing was, I don't know, computer stuff. What can I say?
Computer stuff.
Computer stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
Good enough.
Well, now that Ed's here, we can talk about our experience at LAIRCON, which we haven't talked about on a live stream.
Oh,
if
yeah.
we want to.
Got that yet.
I mean, we don't have to. We can keep talking about campaign 2 and all the stuff that no one's going to see for another couple of months. But
And we have yet to see
yeah,
until 2 days
and
from
Max has been regaled with all of our stories.
Yeah.
Ad
And
hoc.
I wasn't there, so I can just chill and drink tea, and you guys can talk.
Yeah.
Think you're going to get out of the live stream that easy.
I mean, I'll do it on camera.
So, for those of you who don't know, we are good friends with Luke Hart of the DM Lair, and we've done some collab videos with him and his team. We've met them we met him up with them in Terrell, Texas, 2 years ago. I got it, and
Where we
And
got
we did-
Oberon's blessing.
Oberon's blessing. Yes, we found the town of Oberon,
White Deer.
White Deer. Yeah,
White Deer, Texas.
yeah. No, it's
That's where
been
Gord settled down.
awesome. So that was our first experience with
It
LAIRCON,
is
and
good
then
there.
most recently, now a good friend of ours, Outdoor Dave, as we call him, got married that same weekend that we asked them not to do LAIRCON.
So this guy,
Real talk. I seriously we pull zero weight amongst this organization. But
Yeah,
I was like,
for sure.
hey guys.
He said, "Could we not do it the first
Try.
weekend of October?" Anyway, but Nick and Tony and I and Nick's wife Michelle came down to Pensacola, Florida, and we had an awesome weekend playing some games with Ed, who's in the chat, and Luke and Nick ran a game, and some
You
of us
ran a
played
game.
in that. I ran a game.
I just played in all
I
of the
played
games.
the Star Trek Adventures role playing game with Ed, and of course, Ed, I had to go out and I bought the stupid book so I could read it. So
it's a
now
good
I'm
system. I like that system.
it's really fun. I was
I
having a
like the
blast.
skill-based system. It's cool.
You heard it here first. We're pivoting entirely to Star Trek content.
We're just doing Star Trek. We're a Star Trek channel.
I mean,
Peak D&D.
I will be super oblivious to
can-
this.
we can at least do a one-off. Yeah, no, Tony, I'd be with you. I would
Yeah.
know nothing.
Nothing about.
But
Star
I'm not
Trek.
opposed to messing around with different formats for one-offs and stuff.
I think it would be awesome. Maybe if you come to visit, we can film one where you run it, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Ooh. You
that's
could be
true.
behind
We
the
do have-
PeakD&D screen,
Ooh, and we do have that. We could put that extra seat next to you.
and we have the extra seat next to
Mhm,
Ben.
mhm.
Interesting.
Just
So
saying.
You'll just have to
Interesting.
squeeze in by the monitors and all the all the stuff, but we'll make it
We
work.
can rearrange some stuff. Right now I have a luxurious side of the table to myself.
I know. Meanwhile, Tony and I are like, oh no, this is great.
Well, in fairness, you did build the table.
Get in close. Well, that's version 1, man. That's what's happening.
That you built.
Mhm.
Version 2,
Yeah.
2027.
Nice.
Wow.
Ed says he's working on it, so get on the bus.
Get on the bus.
Get on the bus. And yeah, no, it's that would be super fun. But I am trying to learn. I've been looking through the rule book and stuff, and it's been pretty cool.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I had a blast playing in that game, and we had, oh man, just so many. And we played in the staff game at the end. Nick did not.
Man, I wish
Get
Nick
my
was
pregnant
there.
wife home.
No, it's a turn of phrase, Ed. You don't have to take the bus to get here. You can fly or drive. Your choice.
It's like
Public
taking the bus from
transportation.
Virginia would be pure hell, and we're like, yes, it would. You can fly.
Yeah.
No need to
But
take the bus.
maybe a more affordable version of travel. I don't know. There's a train that goes that far. You can get on. You can take an Amtrak.
Get on the train.
I mean, it is the best way to see a country.
Choo
So I've heard. Speaking of which, Nick, do we have trains in this new chapter?
No.
Can we travel by train?
Locomotives.
But there was I know I cracked a joke about airships, and you were like, funny you say that.
Yeah,
that is
they do
true.
exist. It's Halruin. It's Halruin magic technology. It's super cool, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those countries that I know about in the Forgotten Realms, but I've read zero of the source books about it. I just know they have skyships.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Nick
Cool.
single-handedly held on to a black dragon.
The dragon at LAIRCON.
You did.
Yeah,
Thank you. very
single-handedly. Like
When we were trying to save Max.
I
We
have
were trying to save
single-handedly
Max.
slain the
And
beast.
that came close, man.
That was like teetering on the edge of party death
ooh,
for most of that
so
fight.
close. That was the
That
closest
was-
we came
That
all
was pretty
weekend.
cool. That
We had to
was fun.
crash the wedding that Max was at and save him.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was a
Our
blast.
faithful jackass Max.
Yo, Rosalita's dope.
Yeah, Rosalita is our
She is.
party.
I was
So-
honored.
Yeah,
I was
Rosalita,
honored
but you
to hear
you don't like Kevin? I'm still confused. You like
Kevin
Rosalita?
doesn't like me. Let's get it straight. Who started this?
Kevin was very scared to see. He was very surprised to see us.
Kevin wants to eat you. He wants
probably would
to
have.
eat you. He
Kevin-
wasn't trying to save you. He was trying
No,
to
no, no.
devour
He was flicking you for the salt.
Yeah. Nick, if your birds were big enough, would they eat you?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
They are
They're,
just
they are
waiting
not
to be
domesticated.
carnivorous.
I will point out, I went. So we got to make our own characters for this the game we played with that Ed ran. That was the wedding, and I was so excited to play a divination wizard, and I didn't roll portent rolls at
Ever.
all.
And you
Like-
forgot about the coolest part of being a divination wizard.
With support
Unfortunate.
rolls,
I
he didn't even
know.
roll them.
Whoa.
I mean, that's what's tough about one-offs, right? Like I know
It
like
is,
when we were
knowing
on
all
the
your
clock
stuff.
for Rose Up and
Yeah.
like trying to think about like characters that we don't know all that well, like yeah,
Or
you're
like
gonna
at the
miss
first
stuff.
LAIRCON, like all those characters that we didn't even make, we just had to kind of assimilate into, and I'm sure we missed something through all of those.
True.
But
Which
That one
of
ended
those
up
was losers
but
will I play?
That was a super fun experience, though, from like
I would
top to
agree.
bottom. Like getting to play with Luke, like giving us ourselves those sorts of constraints. That was a lot of fun.
dude, Monk Rogue,
That'd be
if you
fun.
build it right, a Monk Rogue can be legit. Because that's what I was playing, and it was nuts. Because that's when you start can have key points and sneak attack strikes with your unarmed strikes, which would be, yeah, it can be crazy. I just wasn't very well built because that's how Luke likes to pick our characters for us.
Yeah,
So
True.
did all right, but
yeah. Ed can attest to that. I heard you had a fun time playing the dwarf wizard I put together.
did I? No, who didn't Ed?
No,
do that?
Ed had that character. It was
Yeah,
Axebeard
Ed played.
Beardaxe.
Ed played. Yes, Ed played Nick's character that Nick made, in the game.
How
at
do you
this
get a
LAIRCON.
wizard by Luke? You give him an intelligence of 10.
And a strength and dexterity of 18 and 17 respectively.
No, the con was 17.
Oh, the con.
Always
Strength
smart.
and con.
Always smart.
Oh yeah, Khan's always smart. I just built like, a super tough dwarven fighter and I made him a wizard instead. It was great.
It was, yeah. It was great.
Yes.
Like, did you actually give him like a chance as a wizard? Did you do like cool stuff?
What
Or
did,
were you
Ed-
just
what
like-
did end up? What did
Well,
he
I
end up
gave
doing?
him some cool stuff. Counterspell is an excellent third level spell.
Did he?
Maybe it shouldn't be your only third level spell, but you got it.
He figured something out at the end. I can't remember what it was. Do you, Ben? He figured
What?
something out that he could cast that was actually helpful at the end, and he's like, "Oh, I had this the whole time." I can't remember what it was now.
there was a buff spell that he,
It was like
he
a-
did a couple
yeah,
of
it
times.
was-
It was very helpful.
Yeah, I think, but
I
he
forget which one it was.
just forgot about it until the end. That was a crazy.
Yeah.
that was a crazy game.
I think I don't know. Like I was
you were a news
I think-
anchor.
I was the fighter, and but I think it was because I didn't have Arcane Archer as my subclass, but I was an archer. I don't know. I don't remember. But Luke was like, "You don't remember? You don't know why I was like, I don't know. This character's okay. I don't know." But it was crazy. It was fun.
I think I went through 4. I think my first
Yeah, you were
character
on,
died
like,
in the
4.
first room.
And Ed and I were the only ones to have our original characters.
And the weasel.
Strong work, Tony.
Dude, it was me and
great.
Zach. Zach went through 3. And I think who else was playing with us? Who was next to me? What's his name?
Jared.
Jared, yeah. I think he went through 2.
Yeah.
And it was on his 3rd. I think I was on my 4th or 5th at the end, and then Zach was on his 4th at the end.
It was Magic Weapon. Yeah, that's right. It
Magic
was
weapon. Yeah, that's
Magic
what it was.
weapon. There you go.
That's what it was. Which is
And we
an
couldn't
incredible
we were
buff
fighting
spell.
all these ghosts and stuff and undead
Sometimes
things.
you need a magic weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What does that even do in 5th edition?
I think it,
It
just
makes your
makes
weapon
makes a
magical.
weapon
You get
magical.
a bonus. You can like upcast it too for additional bonuses.
Plus, yeah. So everything
Oh,
upcast
okay.
would be a +1 kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but it was-
I think it's a pretty long-lasting spell too. I don't exactly remember how long, but I
Oh,
remember thinking,
wow.
oh yeah, that's a pretty good duration.
Here, let's check.
Yeah,
out.
it was.
Oh,
it
God.
came in clutch in that last fight because I had to
Wrong
kill
tab.
some
Sorry,
things.
sorry.
Oh, no, I've
everything went
become a
weird.
Google
Sorry,
window.
everything went weird.
Okay, I'm back.
Magic spells.
Yeah, makes it a +1 weapon, and you can upcast it to make it better.
I had a fun time at the game. We actually played together too at LAIRCON. That was fun.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
We got a good old Anderlin Smink's great grandfather Balabar was also a focus of the game.
Yeah.
I ran there.
So yeah, for anyone who was, if you were at LAIRCON, you might have recognized the Smink name in our campaign too, who's a distant relative of the original, the
Descendant.
OG.
Right.
Just so you know,
Descendant.
I like doing that voice, and
It's a great voice.
fun.
It's a great voice.
It's like most of my best ideas, I stole that.
I mean,
that was actually
in
Age of
DM
Worms
fashion.
in particular, like something about that adventure path. So the thing that I ran at LAIRCON was just a small part of the full adventure path.
Oh no.
Oh, we've lost Ben.
We're
I'm
ready for
sorry.
this.
I must have bored him.
Well, we were almost. We were so
My head
close.
takes up 2 entire windows. My
Yeah.
glory
It's
cannot
fine.
be contained.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Wait, are you coming for me next?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. Anyways, just keep talking.
Ah, no,
We'll
you're
get
good.
there.
No,
Yeah.
Anyway, like something about the Age of Worms has just stuck with me in ages. Is for ages, and I stole the Balabar Smank voice from my dad's take on Balabar Smank when he ran it for his friend group that I was also like tagging along with.
I think you
All right,
might
we're
have
back.
actually just hit one of the talking points that I may have written down. I don't know if I made it to like our group notes, but to like my own personal about something to bring up on the live stream. Like you mentioned that Balabar Smank's voice was your favorite, and I was curious why. And that's a great reason.
Yeah, it's big part of it. Like I love the Age of Worms. I have run it like 4 times for like different groups.
Yeah.
but the only time, and I didn't get to play all of it. I learned about it because my dad had a subscription to Dungeon Magazine, and he was running it for his gaming group that I was a part of at the time because I lived there. And that was his take on Malabar, and I thought it was pitch perfect, so I appropriated it when I ran Age of Worms for myself later on.
I think that's less of a stealing and more of a hand-me-down.
Well, I mean, fair enough. Is it still stealing? It's just coming into my inheritance.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Your storytelling inheritance. No, I mean, I think it's awesome, man. Like, to me, that's no different than, like, you know, I have our other buddy Dave's apple pie recipe, right? And so, like, these things that are like legacy items.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just put that word out there again. I'm just going to start slowly peppering things in for the future. Weapon speed, magic resistance. And all those jokes will land in like 4 months.
Yep. Yes, they will.
There you go. If then.
You're sweet.
The folks at home have no idea why that's interesting, but we do.
Yeah. It's nice. So are there other, okay, aside from Balabar Spank, very acute example, can you point any like global examples of like just other, you know, you are a legacy dungeon master, right? You've like, it's in your blood, man. So like what else of your dad's style or other DMs from your past? Like what have you kind of like?
Yeah, sure. Like a lot of the fun stuff that I do is stuff that I've stolen. I stole the superhero grid from another DM. I stole. It's so fun to say that, but no, it's you know, a lot of things I learned from my dad. My dad is really into role play and doing silly accents at the game table. That was just always part of the experience for me because, you know, you get a man who likes to do silly accents for a father, you're going to pick that up. So, you know, a lot of stylistically, a lot of things I do, and like the degree to which I just get into the lore of the game worlds. That's another thing that, you know, I learned from playing with my dad. You know, it's really cool. You know, it's kind of like a line of continuity in the hobby, and it feels really nice, honestly.
No, that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, because I didn't know any of this. Like, we've been friends. How long have you lived up here, Nick? How long have we known each other?
Oh, geez, like 7 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I was at your baby shower literally today. And I was proud of myself for tying everyone else for like anyway, knowing you guys the best.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, you know, like everyone, like no one has any idea of like where we come by these things, right? Like we all just meet each other at different points in life, and so like not knowing that history. But I think it's awesome that you bring all of that stuff with you to the table to like make the games awesome. And so
you know, that's I've never like seen a cool thing, a cool rule, and not thought, "Ooh, I'm gonna steal that." A thing that I stole from Luke that maybe he stole from Matt Mercer. I don't know. I don't watch Critical Role. Is the "how do you do this" question when you deal a particularly satisfying killing blow. That's a great freaking idea.
Well, and it's also like it's good for more reasons. Yeah, it's good for a million different reasons. But like, well, that's what I was just gonna say, right? Like, I know that it can get boring at a table, right? So like, you get what you give, right? And the more you put in, the more you're gonna get out. So like, you're pretty much, no one hears the question like, "Oh man, you just killed a big bad monster. Like, how are you gonna do this?" And they're like, "I attack."
Yeah.
Right, like it just like sets the stage for like being more creative with it.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great addition, and I'm glad that glad to have appropriated that. It's like, oh, we're gonna take that idea.
Dude, absolutely, man. On the shoulders of giants. Like I say it all the time, but that's where creativity, like inspiration is everywhere. Like, oh, did you like that thing from that show? Great, use it. Like, oh, did you see someone else do something awesome? Now it's yours.
Yeah, right. And like, not to talk about like the internet like it's a giant cultural touchstone that affects all of our lives, but with the advent of the internet, you get to see so many more people's ideas, and like that's why like I'm really excited about like the new players who are coming on to D&D now, the new players who have known nothing but this super interconnected web of like dozens of people playing in different pickup games on your favorite forums, and like just learning so much and being exposed to so many different fun ideas. I think it's really cool. It's good for the hobby. I think it's going to make like, the next editions of D&D, the ones that are written by the people who are learning to play D&D now, I think is going to be one hell of a game.
Interesting. I like that take on it. It's funny, man, because something I was thinking, like, one thing I appreciate about what you're doing and what you do is like your breadth of knowledge throughout like lots of the editions, and like I'm excited that that's going to come into play.
No, I mean, I've got to do something with it. It's just taking up retail space in my head. So we could kind of monetize it this way.
Well, whatever, man. Like, just like to have, like it's in order to know where you're going, know where you're from, right? And so to like be able to like root and ground it in that sort of a very tenderly way, I think is cool. Yeah, I'm into it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Steal ideas you like. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And make them yours. Like that's what it's all about. Figure out like what's fun and
twist you can put on it.
Absolutely. Like what's right for you, like and your group, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Nice. So chapter 2, you're super geeked on.
Oh yeah. But I've done so much prep work over the past couple of weeks.
In between sessions, you made a comment to us that we don't understand what it means yet, because you were like, yeah, depending on a choice, we're either gonna, you're either gonna be in chapter 2 or chapter 3, and like they're all like modular. Yeah. And so like, do you have are all the modules of the chapters like thesised? Like, do you have the theme and like that stuff done? Or
I don't think that I wouldn't say that I have all of the chapters figured out and I know what their deal is, what the arc is. But I've got like a few. I've got like, honestly, the way I write is to like write down a list of good ideas that I've had and then try to find the connective tissue. And the neat part about that is that in D&D, the connective tissue is kind of done for you because the players are going to do what they're going to do. So, if you make a story that responds well to player creativity, like, for example, like, ultimately chapter 1 is about, it's basically about siding with one of two parties in a conflict. And depending on which one you guys have decided to side with or neither, you could have ended up in a couple of different places after all of this shook out. And I just kind of thought, okay, well, that would kind of lead nicely into this, and that would kind of lead nicely into this. And I'm glad that you guys landed the way you did, because I think that the ideas I have for this upcoming challenge is probably some of the more interesting stuff I've thought of in terms of like where the campaign has been, just where it is and where it's going, I think.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm happy with the way things shook out, and I'm happy that I got to really dive into this one since you guys made those choices and find the coolest possible way to do the outline I had sketched.
Absolutely.
Man, sometime I got to make a character that would choose differently, because like I sit here and I think about like the choices we've made, and specifically the one you're talking about and that pivot point, and I'm just like, I would never have gone a different way, and so that it just makes me think, it's like,
how do you make a character that goes a different way?
Maybe I need to make a character that like Costanza's it and just does the opposite of my natural impulses, and like
just suppress all of your natural instincts. We'll have a fantastic
well, not suppress them, just do the opposite.
Yeah, there you go. Ed's asking, I mentioned offhand in the Eternal Winter in the current campaign, and yes, Ed, this is those sorts of throwaways exist to remind you, the clever observer, that the chronology of this is post Frostmaiden. So this is after the Eternal Winter has ended. So yeah, thanks for catching that. It makes me feel clever.
So the other thing too about that too was like, in some way, shape, or form, our Into the Fae / Beyond the Fae is connected to the same world as your campaign 2. So how much time has elapsed then between the two?
I don't think I nailed down an exact date, but I had envisioned a year.
It's only been a year.
Yeah, about a year since Illinsworth and Jastian and Gord stood bravely against the Jastian's asshole dad.
And I don't know
in the heart of Mr. Nord.
I don't know. I don't know where this goes into the spoiler event or whatever, but I know that we talked about running the Rime of the Frost Maiden. But then we decided what happened was that you wanted to run like this, last third of it? Is that what we ran through, kind of, or what?
Not even really. Just there's a thing that happens or can happen at the end of Rime of the Frost Maiden that I just read and thought, that is such a good setup for a big story.
Yeah.
And then I just decided, well, we can just say that happened in canon. And
so we didn't play through that.
No, you didn't play through it.
Oh, okay.
I just found a way to tell a story that was relevant to these characters without having to bring in new ones or to make you run a module that I'm really only interested in the ending of anyway.
Yeah.
So that just seemed like a more elegant way of doing it.
And it's also like living your truth, Nick. Like we just talked about inspiration being everywhere. And like, if you see a cool idea, don't leave it on the table. Right. And like, so literally you're like, oh yeah, we could play this entire module, or I could just steal this cool part that I'm really excited about and like weave it into mine.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fortunately, there's a meta plot to the 5e published modules, at least to some of them. So I just decided that before I got into campaign 2, before I got into this story that I was really excited for, I wanted to stake my claim and kind of say, yeah, I see what you're doing. I see why these things exist. And now I'm going to do a thing, and I don't care what answer you have to that question.
Nice.
So I just kind of wanted to get it in there as part of loading the bases for the story that we're telling now.
Okay. I mean, okay. Is that true? Or is this story that we're telling now really just loading another base for the Grand Slam in campaign 4? I mean, yes, and is a principle we live by. I get it.
It's true.
No, it's I mean, like, I hope that some cool stuff will come out of this campaign, but if it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I have the same general attitude as I did to the Rime of the Frost Maiden thing. It's like, yeah, the lore is there, it lines up if you really want to get into it, but before we worry about any of that, you got to focus on telling a good story and having a fun game with fun encounters. So that's. Honestly, that's something that I stole from Marvel Studios. Well, I mean, hey, there's a precedent for building a successful fictional universe with multiple stories happening in it. I'm a crib from that too. And the secret sauce to Marvel is that you kind of feel like you need to see the rest of the films to understand what's going on, but by and large, you really don't. There are stories that stand on their own that make you want to investigate more, to see the rest of the stories that are happening in that world. And that's what I'm trying to steal. And where a lot of other cinematic universes have failed, I think, is in really, you make one good story at a time. That's a lesson that needs to be told. Don't do a movie just to set up another movie. That's a terrible idea. And I try not to do a campaign just to set up another campaign by the same token. So, you find an interesting story to tell, and sprinkled in there in the post-credits, you've got some other stuff that may help you to get excited for other things that are happening in the same world.
Yeah, to me, that's a matter of like, adding depth to the living world, right? Like not only making it like reactive to choices, but like making it truly feel alive, like growing that tree.
Yeah, exactly.
The meat of it.
It fortunately works on a time scale that's not dissimilar to the growing trees. But hey, I'm pretty confident I'm going to keep playing this game. Nobody's managed to stop me so far, so I'm
right. I mean, look, can we just say right now, like, even if the channel folds, can we still just keep playing? Like, is that
Oh,
okay?
I mean, absolutely. That's the whole
Don't
reason
fold
we're.
well.
That's the whole
Like
reason
and
we did
subscribe,
this. We're
everybody.
like, we're already playing. We might as well put cameras on. So if we don't want to do the cameras anymore, we're gonna keep playing.
No, and I
Cool.
think that's something that really is nice about our channel. You know, we'd all be equally happy to be playing games with each other without the cameras if we had to.
Yeah.
But the fact that the cameras are there means we can share it with a lot of people. And we've already made some really cool friends doing this. So
It certainly adds. It certainly adds to the game experience around the
yeah,
table.
you know, it's great. It's connecting to something larger.
Yes, and I think that I would actually miss the cameras, not because I just love being on camera, but because
Max
of
loves being on camera.
I
We
really
even
love
flip the
being on
screen around so he can see himself.
all the time, all the time. It's why I'm paying attention to my laptop over here and not looking at the comments. But just because, man, you guys know me, we talk about this all the time, but like, because the cameras are on, because there are microphones, like, it's just a little added focus
Yep.
that I just really,
Absolutely.
man, like, we've played in big groups, man. Nick, you were talking about the days we had like 12 people here playing, 13 with the DM, and like, it's so easy to get distracted that I
So easy.
really like the cameras, because like, we're good about technology at the table, we're good about, you know, those cameras drive that focus too.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice reminder, you know. It's like, hey, we're doing this for marbles. Let's
Yeah.
keep on task and let's make this combat go efficiently, and it reminds me to do something cool every couple of minutes so that the folks
Yeah, I
at
mean,
home
like,
don't get
when things
bored.
get bogged down, like if we're I love our role playing, but if we talk to ourselves a little too long, then like someone can interject, or if we're indecisive about something, then at some point one of us is just like, all right, you know what, this is what's happening, because it's just that push of like, we can't just sit here for 10 minutes talking about nothing, because like there are cameras rolling, so let's like push the envelope of progressing to do something, rather than, because I don't know, I've certainly been around tables that it took an hour to decide to open a door.
Oh yeah,
So-
no. When it comes to
I
like
think
how to
I've been at one of those tables.
Yep.
One or two of those.
absolutely, yeah. At a certain point, like, yeah,
I mean, certainly partly I take certain part blame for it, but like the Pirates game that we played last weekend, like there was a decision you guys all had to make, and you guys came up with like 5 different scenarios. I'm like, just pick one. But I'm still learning about how to handle that, like from a DM standpoint of where to interject. But when your players just sit around and for an hour, try to do something, but at some point you just got to do it.
there's like an 80-20 to it, right? Where like you can like, yeah, can you spend more time like really dialing in and creating that perfect plan? Like, yeah, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to dice anyway. So you're never going to be able to like determine, it's never going to be foolproof.
Yep.
Right.
And so like, is this a good enough idea? Great, we'll adjust on the way.
Yep. So, but I think, with the cameras and stuff, it just allows us to make those decisions a little bit quicker and push a little bit faster.
Honestly, that's an interesting group dynamic I've kind of noticed. It's like we kind of need an incentive to make a snap decision, and making a snap decision, and any choice is right as long as it's willed, right? So like
I can recall a certain trap that maybe was sprung that like maybe didn't have to be. I don't know.
No, but it's like the phenomenon. I describe it with my Michigan group has a phrase that we use when we catch ourselves doing it. And it's called talking ourselves into the worst possible version of the plan.
I mean, that's the truth, isn't it? Though?
And that's what happens when you spit fire on something for too long without taking an action.
Because we did get borderline close, and I think in the scenario that you were just alluding to, that comes a few episodes later, by the way. But like, it's coming. But it took us a while, and we're like, at some point we just got to do it, though. But I think that was one of our decisions around PeakD&D table, at least, that took the longest that I remember. Yeah.
No, I call what you just said, Nick, it's like the wish rule, right? Like the less semicolons you have in your wish, the better. So similarly,
the simplest form of the idea is probably where you should start.
Similar
to DMing, right? You have your simple your simple form, so then all the players, you can deduce and react to what the players actually choose to do. Because once you have your own railroad as a DM, then it gets hard to react to what the players want to do. So same thing with the players, like just have simple ideas of plans to incorporate and then have that space to be able to improvise.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many ways you can plan around kicking in the door and fighting a bunch of goblins,
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to do that regardless. So we don't need to talk for 45 minutes about exactly where you're going to kick the door so as to maximize the spray of splinters, thereby giving you some cover from XYZ contingency.
Yeah.
Now, if that doesn't happen, then we need to go to backup plan Omicron. I hate that stuff. And I'm so prone to it. Because I'm always trying to, like, when I'm a player, I'm like a big into tactics and like coming up with crazy schemes that minimize risk. Because I played through the Return to the Tomb of Horrors once, so that's an old habit that dies hard.
That's fair.
But oh boy. Oh yeah, Tony, I saw you just responded to Ed. Yeah, we like to call that "let Luke get bored" in our staff game. Terrible idea.
Because then he's just going to do something ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's very fair.
Suddenly a pit trap opens up under your feet. You had to stand there for 14 and a half minutes in order to trigger it, and somehow you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Congratulations.
Gord was kind of that implement last campaign. He was certainly a lot more decisive as far as some things were concerned.
Oh man, yeah. That's why. Yeah, I do. The it's come up before, the perks versus drawbacks, and like, man, that 2E cipher mechanic.
That's the one where whatever you say goes, right?
Yeah, no takebacks.
Yeah,
no takebacks. I'd be interested
at the table. Whatever you say goes.
Right. Like they're like, yeah, like you don't get to like.
I run into the room. Well, you're running into the room.
Yeah,
then.
like, oh no, wait, I cast mage armor. Like, no, you run into the room.
No, you ran into the room. You said it first.
I get it.
Yeah.
The general opposite side of that coin, again from the Michigan group, is I didn't say it in the accent.
Yeah, of course.
I was just gonna bring this up because, like, in playing with accents, and that's something that I've taken with Triss. Like, I won't always speak in Triss's accent, and because of like, it was something I thought was really cool at the Michigan table. Like, having played as a cipher before, having like seen how that goes down, and liking to crack jokes, like. Yeah, there have been times in one of the games I play where I'll say something that I think is pretty, like, the sarcasm font is heavy, bold perhaps, and like it doesn't.
But nobody, this just doesn't stick.
Exactly, and so like I really dig the like it wasn't an accent.
You don't always have to use accents, of course, around your table, but it is a good way to distinguish
but it's a general
out
principle.
of what you are doing, what you're not doing.
You're supposed to use a sarcastic voice.
Yes.
Now I look foolish.
Well, guys, I think we've chatted for about an hour now.
Oh, holy cats! Look at that.
Awesome. Yeah, man. We've been doing all the chatting, and we've had some people come in and watch, including Ed Robinson, and Negative Space made a appearance here at the end. So thank you guys you guys for showing up.
Yeah, always awesome.
But yeah, we're PeakD&D. We like to just sit around and chat once a month or so on a stream about all the things we've done in the last month. But
I just turned the computer on when you say we have a live stream, Tony.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sometimes I'm like, man, are you tired of editing? Let's just do a live stream.
I mean, I'm always okay with that too. But the biggest news for us is that campaign 2 is out. Episode 2 is out, so it's still ground level. There's still only about 2 hours total of gameplay, unless you want to watch session 0. But you guys can get in on the ground level. It's going to be really great. It's Nick's story that is.
Find out if I'm crazy enough to actually throw an ancient dragon at them at level 1.
He was. So
he was.
Asterisk.
Hope you guys tune into more episodes to come, and we will see you next time here at the Peak.
Thanks for joining us.